what is involved with being the active real estate investor. The real active investors, the real general partners who are out there doing this, they're not doing it because of some status thing. This is a way of life. It's not the funnest thing in the world. It's a shitload of work. I want to explain what all is involved. And if you want to live this life, and if you want to go about building a real estate investment firm, and if you want to raise capital from people and you want to be a GP, you need to know what's involved. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Entrepreneur Podcast. My name is Alex Coffman, and my goal with this is to give you information, insights, and help you expand your business, specifically within commercial real estate investing, but just in general. Today we are going to be talking about commercial real estate investing though. Today we're going to be talking about everybody's desire to be a GP. Everybody's desire to be an active real estate investor. Everybody's desire to be the person on Instagram who's walking, big multifamily units and showcasing how many investors they're raising capital and buying deals with. And everybody who has the dream or the fascination or desire to look that way and to be considered a GP or a active real estate investor. We have a lot of people who come up to us, whether it's inside, whether it's you watching this podcast, whether it is on Instagram or Facebook, people coming to our networking events, people who see what we're doing, people who are inside the community, people who are a part of other groups and communities that we're a part of, people in the industry. Constantly, we have people come and tell us that they want to be a GP. I think that the two letters, general partner, GP, are kind of a status thing to a lot of people, where it's like, for whatever reason internally, they don't want to be considered a LP, limited partner, or passive investor. They want to be the general partner or the GP. And I think it is a status thing for a lot of people, because what I'm about to say here is, and what I really want to accomplish today with this podcast, is I really want to lay out what is involved with being the active real estate investor and what's involved with being the GP. Because the real active investors, the real general partners who are out there doing this, are not doing it for clout. They're not doing it because of some status thing. This is a way of life for them. And to be very honest, being a GP and active real estate investor kind of sucks. It's not the funnest thing in the world. It's a shitload of work. There's a ton of stress and responsibility. It's literally 24/7 if you're trying to really grow and scale something large. And it's not an easy thing. And no one is doing it for the status to say that they are a GP. This is their business. This is their way of life. They're probably psychopaths like we are, because it's not a ton of fun. There is reward in it, but it's delayed reward. It's not instant gratification. And so I want to show you guys behind the scenes and explain what all is involved. That way you can really consider if you want to be a GP or an active real estate investor. Because to be very honest with you, I would rather be a passive investor. I would much rather be an LP than I would be a GP. There's no work as a passive investor. There's no work as a LP. If you're investing with the right people, you get to experience all the rewards and the benefits of owning real estate, and you do none of the work, and you make more than they do. Typically, right? Like LPs typically get 80% of the deal. GPs get, 20% or maybe even less, right? So I would much rather be an LP. Just sit back, collect my checks, live life. If I had a family and kids, I would much rather not work and do the tedious and painful process of putting these deals together. And I'd much rather just be an investor, collect my check, and spend time, doing stuff with my family or playing golf or whatever people do, when they don't have to work. So I want to explain what all is involved. And if you want to live this life, and if you want to go about building a real estate investment firm, and if you want to raise capital from people and you want to be a GP, you need to know what's involved. Because we see a lot that, a lot of people say this, like, I want to be a GP, I want to be a GP, but then they never do anything that's required to actually make this stuff happen. And we have these conversations a lot, and I think it's important to address. So being a general partner and creating an investment fund and an investment firm, if you want to grow something really big and large, it's going to require a lot of work. If you just want to do one deal and quit, it'll require some work for a while, but then you're going to have a full-time job, managing this deal, the asset management, everything that's involved from, the time that you own it to the time that you sell it. But if you're trying to grow something big, you want to grow something like Cardone Capital, you want to grow something like Blackstone, you want to grow something like Sam Zell did, you are going to have to work for a very long time, 24/7, and make it happen. I wanted to draw it up on our whiteboard here, but I'm going to do my best to explain it. So there's a few different roles within this, right? Number one, you have deals, okay? And it's very important that if you want to grow something large, you're going to need to find some partners, because I don't think you're going to accomplish this on your own. All right. There is the deal finding. Okay. It is a ton of work to get deals. The deal flow that we have today did not come because we started yesterday reaching out to people and getting deals. We see 50 to 100 deals a day because we've been doing this for the last 13 years, day in, day out, closing deals, building relationships, meeting people, building our network, following up, and expanding that vast network of brokers, agents, wholesalers, investors, developers, lenders, insurance, etc., that send us deals. Okay, or introduce us to people who send us deals, or introduce us to opportunities. It takes years and years and years of work, day in, day out, building these relationships, getting clear on what you're looking for, adding value to people, providing brokers feedback, closing deals, showing people that you're actually a closer, showing people that you're successful, so that they want to send you deals. All right, you can start today. But just know that you're going to be building this for years to get the deal flow that you probably want today. And nobody knows you today, right? If you're just starting out today, you don't have any deal flow, you've never done any deals, you're looking to get into being an active real estate investor, you want to raise capital, be a GP, you're going to be starting from zero if you've never done anything before. So you're going to spend years building this, making those relationships, getting your name out there, telling people what you're looking for. And even, while you're doing this, people don't know you. People don't trust you. They don't know if you're a closer, that you don't have a track record. You can't show them, what you've done. People can't vouch for you. So it's going to be years and years and years of building that up. All right. So that's number one, is just the deal flow necessary to be able to find the right deals. Is going to take you a tremendous amount of time and effort to do it. And you can't just call somebody and say, hey, I'm looking for deals, start sending me deals, put the phone down, and then send you deals for forever. You can sign up for, brokers, deal distribution lists, and you'll receive the emails. But the moment you try and pick up the phone and call them, they probably won't take you seriously on who you are, you're a closer, you can get this done, what your track record is, that you're actually going to accomplish being able to buy this deal, right? You're not even a part of the conversation. They're going to be looking to do these deals with people they know, like, and trust, and know are going to be able to get the deals done. So that's one aspect. And that's a 24/7 full-time job, constant, building those relationships, networking, getting your name out there, building credibility, building off your connections to get new connections, getting people to vouch for you and make introductions to you, closing deals, showing people your track record and the deals that you close. You have to do this for a very long time. All right. Then you have the capital raising side of things. Same concept as being able to actually get the deals. People need to know that you know what you're doing. If you don't have a track record of closing deals, then it'll be less likely that you're going to attract millions of dollars to invest with you when you have no experience having done this before, and you have, nothing to show that you can successfully accomplish this. I'm not saying it can't be done, especially with people you know, like, and trust. I'm just telling you that it's going to be built up over a long period of time, right? That comes with doing those deals. That comes with speaking to the brokers. It comes with, getting deals done and building on that over time. It's unlikely that you're going to start off day one, first deal, and raise $50 million to go take something down, right? Unless you have, a connection with $50 million who already knows, likes, and trusts you, okay? So you're going to have to build that up over time. Raising the capital is another full-time job. These are all other relationships that you have to build. You have to constantly follow up with them. You have to, get them to trust you, get them to like you, and also get them to believe in you, believe in your deals, and provide a return that's great enough for them to be able to decide to invest with you instead of invest in the stock market, instead of invest in bonds, instead of invest in other deals, instead of invest in, REITs or everything out there that they could invest in. You're going to be competing with everybody else and everything else out there that is raising capital. So your deals have to meet their specific criteria and what they're looking for, on top of being able to know, like, and trust that you're not going to screw them over. I mean, or you also just know what you're doing and you're not going to screw up the project and everybody lose their money, right? So that's another thing. That's another 24/7 full-time job, constantly going out there and doing it. When you actually have a deal and you're raising capital, getting the capital into the account is a full-time job. Working with the attorneys, making sure that the docs are correct, making sure you have everything in there, setting up the portals, making sure all that stuff is set up, all the admin work, sending out updates, hosting the investor calls, putting together the pitch decks, putting together the webinar presentations. When people say they want to invest in your deals, reaching out to them, closing them, getting them across the finish line, answering any questions that they have, really showing them A to Z what it looks like, walking them all the way through the process, making sure their docs are signed correctly, sending those docs to the attorney so that they can file, all the filings that they need to file, making sure that the docs look good, they wire in their money, there's no issues wiring in money, etc. It's a ton of admin follow-up and ensuring that every single person and every single penny goes through the process exactly how it should, and every single person is different. Some people have trouble with computers and signing documents. Some people, these are long documents. These are like 120 pages worth of documents. Some people don't read them. Some people read every single word. And so you have to get on the phone with these people, walk them all the way through, answer any questions that they have. Some people aren't good with technology. When they're signing documents online, you have to get on phone calls with them and show them where to click and how to click. And you have to hold people's hand through the entire process, okay? This is a lot of time, and this is done after you spent a tremendous amount of time and effort pitching the deal, getting the interest, building up that network of people who would invest in it, and getting them even to the point where they're ready to invest, okay? And building up that network is also going to take a lot of time over a long period of time. It's not like, unless you already have it, it's not like day one, you're going to have this big network ready to invest with you. You got to go out there. You got to build it. You got to nurture them. You got to build trust. You got to sell them on the vision. You got to sell them on you. You got to sell them on your company. You got to sell them on what you're going to do. And then once you get that to a point and the stars align and you have a deal that meets the criteria after you've put in months and years worth of work of building up that deal flow, then you match them together, and then you have to do all of the admin stuff, okay? Now, after you've raised the capital and you get the deal closed, then the real work begins. All of that is the work done prior to closing on a deal. And then when you close on a deal, now you have a 5 to 10 year full-time job overseeing this deal, okay? You are going to oversee the bookkeeper, make sure everything is done correctly. You're going to oversee the CPAs, the vendors, the property manager, contractors, etc. If this deal does not perform the way that you want it to, or the way that you originally planned, then it's a bad deal for everybody if it doesn't get the returns, okay? The lenders, the insurance, every single party involved with a real estate deal and ensuring that it works the way that it needs to is another full-time job. And you're going to have this full-time job for the duration of the project until you sell it. Every single year, you're going to have to work with the CPAs. You're going to have to get the K1s out. You're going to have to get the communication and distributions out to all the investors and make sure everything is correct down to the penny. You're going to have to provide all the communication to all the investors, answer any questions that they have. We do monthly investor calls where we provide updates and answer questions and tell everybody how the project is doing. Give them updates on the distributions, give them updates on the cost segregation study and the tax savings and K1s and everything. So there's two parts to that, because you're managing the deal, but then you're also managing the investors and the cash flow and the distribution and the communication and the admin side on the investor side, the deal for the duration of the project. Those are two full-time jobs, okay? Property managers, if they're not doing well, you need to fire them and you need to bring somebody else in. Property managers, if they're not, if they're not doing their job well, they can really ruin a deal. Talking about with maintenance, talking about with leasing, talking about with bookkeeping, talking about with resident and tenant experience, talking about with upkeep of the property, talking about every aspect of it. If they're dropping the ball somewhere, it's your job to stay on top of them, ensure that the job gets better and gets done well, or get rid of them and bring somebody else in. And it is a lot. Okay, so you're going to be doing this for the duration of the project for 5 to 10 years, overseeing both of those sides of things. Now, keep in mind, as you get bigger and as you grow in scale, you're going to be hiring a team. Okay, you're not going to be doing this all yourself. You're going to hire an asset manager. You're going to have staff who's going to do the bookkeeping. You're going to have attorneys and CPAs and all these things that will be a part of your team. You're going to have people who help with raising capital. You're going to have assistants, etc., who help with all the admin stuff. You're going to have people who handle all these things. But your first deal is not going to afford all that stuff. You're not going to be able to afford to hire a team to do all that stuff for you. That's going to come deal 3, maybe one position. Deal 10, maybe, you got 4 or 5 positions in place. But day 1 for your first deal 2, you're not going to be able to afford to hire all that staff. So guess who does the work? You do. You or your partners. And now this is where partners are really important. It's unlikely that you A, want to do all that stuff, B, can do all that stuff, and C, can do all that stuff efficiently and at a very high level all at the same time. At Tier 3 Capital, we have 3 partners, Matt, Robert, and myself. We all work very well together. We all do different things. We all work together as a team, and we all come together to accomplish the same thing. And even with us 3, it still is a shitload of work. All 3 have, multiple full-time jobs for this specifically that we're going out and trying to accomplish, getting everything done. Now, like I just mentioned, as time goes on, we'll hire people to come in. As we've made more progress, we have hired people, but it's still not there yet. Like, it's not like I'm removed from the day-to-day operations and I just sit back and do nothing as the owner of the company. We work 24/7. It's nonstop. Matter of fact, Kat, my fiance, says that, what do you say? You say that because Robert and I, here's the deal. We have all that stuff, but, we also have other businesses. We have the brokerage. We have other things that we have going on, doing this podcast. This is all in the major and big game plan of accomplishing buying more real estate with Tier 3 Capital. But we have a ton of stuff that we do, the boot camps, all the lives, recording the ads, all the marketing, all of that stuff is a part of our day-to-day operations that we have to do. So that means that, like, during normal business hours, it's pretty crazy. I can't do a lot of stuff with a high level of focus with no distractions because we just constantly have shit coming at us every single day, right? So that means that basically between like 7 p.m. and 12 a.m. is a time where it's kind of quiet and silent in terms of business stuff, because everybody else is off work, everybody else is at home. And so that's time where we can focus on behind the scenes working on the business. So almost every night from 7:30 p.m. till 11 midnight sometimes, Robert and I are on Google Meets, and we're working on the business. We're working on communication, distributions. We're working on overviewing the accounting. We're working on planning stuff out. We're analyzing deals together. We're going through spreadsheets. We're working on the business. And Kat says that I tell Robert good night every morning, and tell him good night every night, and I tell him good morning every morning. And I don't do it to her because she's asleep. But I spend that time working on the business with Robert. And then I wake up at 4:30, 5:30 every morning, and it's back at it again. And it's every single day, 365 days a year. Doesn't matter if it's Juneteenth, doesn't matter if it's Thanksgiving, doesn't matter if it's Christmas. The work doesn't stop. So it's 24/7. And I just want you guys to fully internalize that, because we don't do it because it's fun. We don't do it because, we enjoy giving ourselves, 6 full-time jobs. I would much rather be a passive investor on our deals than to run our deals, because running the deals is a tremendous amount of work. We also have full responsibility. I got on the last fund that we did, I've got 43 investors who invested their hard-earned capital with us. And it is my job and our job to perform for them, right? So that's a tremendous amount of responsibility, and I take it very seriously. And we don't take it light, but I think about it every single second of every single day, and every single decision that's made is with that in mind, right? We're also the ones signing on the debt. We're the ones overseeing all the people, all the staff, the management, etc., the tenants, the residents. They all rely on us. If we don't perform, and if we don't keep up our end of the deal, everybody else is affected, okay? There's a ton of responsibility in that. And I honestly would much rather not have it. It'd be much easier to just be a passive investor and receive my distribution every single month than to have all this work, all this responsibility. And so you really need to consider that. We might be psychopaths. We do it because we're looking to build something amazing and great. We do it because we don't care if we get paid in the interim. We don't care if we get paid right now. We're after the long prize of building something huge and special. I also just enjoy building things. I want to achieve something. I want to be working towards something. I need to be accomplishing something. So I'm not doing this, and we don't do this for status. We don't do this to say that we're GPs. We do this in the pursuit of something great. And in the pursuit of something great, the rewards are not, vanity metrics such as how many people, viewed our video of us, talking about our deal. I've got GP on next to my name on Instagram, or on Instagram I call myself a real estate investor. Like those vanity metrics and those vanity things are not important to the people who are actually out here doing it. And if they are important to the people who are out there doing it, they're not going to be doing it for very long, because of those are all the wrong reasons to want to be doing this. And if that is the reason you want to do it, the reward is not great enough for all the work and headache and everything that's involved with it. So if I was you, I would really consider if that's what I want to do. And if it's not what you want to do, that's okay. Like I mentioned, the LPs make more money than the GPs. The LPs don't have to do any work. The LPs don't have any risk other than the capital that they've invested in deals. So it's not, you're not less than. I mean, you're greater than as a passive investor. As a passive investor, it means that you've achieved so much that you don't have to go out and do this. You can just invest and receive your distributions and live your life. I've never, wanted to just relax. I've never wanted to just hang out. We were talking about it yesterday or a couple of days ago. Like, I don't want to just go sit on the beach. I want to be working towards something. I want to be accomplishing something. And that's why we do this. It's not for, the vanity status of I'm a GP or showing stuff off on Instagram. It's because if we weren't doing this, I'd be building something else. And, I've just found that real estate's the best investment. I love real estate, and I want to be able to provide this for everybody else who wants to do this with us. But just ask yourself if you really want to do it, because it's okay to passively invest. You're going to experience all the benefits of real estate without doing any of the work. And you can just go live your life. You can go focus on what you want to do. Being an active real estate investor, I understand that everybody has this dream, but most people who say they have this dream or say that they want this never actually put the work in that's required to accomplish it. And if this is you and you are serious about it, you need to start taking action immediately. You need to be out there looking for partners and investors. You need to be out there doing those things that I described. And if you are serious about it, you probably already are doing it, right? And to be very honest, that's the difference between people who just talk and people who are out there doing it, is the people who are out there doing it aren't talking about it. The people who are out there doing it aren't out there saying, I want to be a GP. I want to be an active real estate investor. They're out there putting in the work day in and day out to make it happen. When I first started investing in real estate, those words never came out of my mouth. I never once said, I would love to be a GP. I want to be an active real estate investor. Matter of fact, I probably didn't tell anybody anything. I just went out there and started making it happen with Matt. Same thing. I've never heard Matt say those words to me. And anybody out there who is actually out there doing it, they're not talking about it. So I would just encourage you to really consider what the best route is for you and your family based on your actual goals and what you want to accomplish, because you can experience all the benefits of real estate investing without doing any of the work, and you can go focus on other things without having the responsibility, the 7 full-time jobs, the risk that's involved, the anxiety, everything, because this is a 24/7 pursuit of something great. And we don't do it for status. We don't do it because we want to show off and tell people that this is what we're doing. We want to do it because we want to accomplish something great. And if we weren't doing this, we'd be out pursuing something else, and we wouldn't be talking about it or telling people that this is what we want to do. We would be out there doing it. So if you need help, if you need some guidance on what to do next, I would recommend you come to our boot camp. One Deal Away boot camp that we're putting on July 9th through July 11th. Tickets are less than a couple $100. And I will personally hold your hand and walk you through A to Z, what to look for in a deal, how to find a deal, how to analyze and underwrite a deal, how to negotiate and make an offer on a deal in 3 days or less. I will hold your hand, walk you all the way through it, and by the end of that boot camp, you will have learned to market, found a deal in your market, underwritten deals and negotiated deals in your market, and made an offer on a deal at a price and with terms that could change your life in 3 days or less. And I'll personally walk you all the way through it. I know that people out there need help. I know that, you may be watching this and saying, I am going to accomplish that. I'm not out here doing this for status. And if that's the case and you need a little help, just show up to the boot camp. I'll give you over $1 million worth of value in 3 days or less, and you'll have a lifelong partner and someone that you can always come to and ask questions to. And I will jumpstart your journey into real estate investing in 3 days. I guarantee you won't regret it. And if you come to me on the last day and say that you received no value, we'll give you your money back. We don't make a lot of money on the boot camp. Matter of fact, we lose money on it. It costs us more to market it to you than we make in ticket sales. But what we are looking for is people who are serious. We're not looking for people who want status. We're not looking for people who are wishy-washy about if they're going to pursue this or not. The ticket price weeds out people who are serious, people who are not serious, and only the people who are serious show up to the boot camp. So if you're interested in taking things to the next level, I would suggest you show up to the boot camp. You can get your ticket at treuniversity.com/one-deal. And I'll see you on July 9th. And to the original topic of this podcast, if you're not sure if you want to do that, and for whatever reason it bothers you deep down inside, to be a passive investor versus being the active investor, I don't know. Take a look at it. Think about it. Because, if you want to be the active investor, you're going to have to do everything that I just mentioned, plus a million more things. And there's nothing wrong with being a passive real estate investor and riding along with and partnering with great people who are doing great things without doing any of the work, and you continue to experience all the benefits. See you guys next week.